Tuesday night, let's talk about some fights. Welcome to my fight show. Mika Frankl across the Cage Minds, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Join the conversation. We can see the comments. Every like, every share, every subscriber, incredibly appreciated. We thank you guys for all of it. We got a big show tonight because last week there was a ton of bare knuckle. There was some PFL. There was some PowerSlap. This week, you got some bare knuckle in Clearwater. You also have CFC in El Paso for our local Southwest fight community. And we will have matchmaker Carlos Pacheco here later to help us preview that incredible card in El Paso. And not to mention, coming off of a successful title defense at Niagara Falls, BKB 53, the top rank BKB fighter, the 2-division champion, Smash LT Nelson. We are just a little bit away from our first guest joining us here to talk about his getting off the mat effort to retain one of his 2 Police Gazette diamond belts. So we got a whole lot in store for you guys, and we couldn't do it without the help of a whole bunch of great people. Yeah, you know the beard's looking good, and that's because of the Barber R Us Beard Balm. New scent available. You get that at barbergabesfades.net. You're going to pick it up at Barber Gabe Fades. That's 100 Coolers Boulevard, Lobo Plaza, Suite 107. Walk-ins are welcome, but it's easier to go online, book, buy your beard balm, get it when you walk in. MMA After Hours is up on cageminds.com. Me and Mr. Michael Carlisle covered UFC Winnipeg and previewed UFC Vegas 116. Tomorrow, Pro Wrestling After Hours will be up, and we have a whole WrestleMania recap, plus much more from a wild weekend of all independent wrestling in Las Vegas, and Darby Allin capturing the AEW World Championship. Again, every like, every share, every view, every subscriber, much appreciated. Thank you to everybody. Shout out to Robbie Ray for helping us with the videos that you see for the Cage Minds Fight Hour that you hear ESPN Radio Albuquerque 1017 The Team, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. every Saturday. Couple minutes away from our featured guest, Smash LT Nelson, 2-division BKB champion after getting off the mat in the Trigon to retain his title. He will be here. Carlos Pacheco also in store talking about CFC 6 this weekend. Last weekend, a whole ton of great action. The PFL, the PFL had a Thursday event in Belfast, Ireland, and the Irish love to party as that one was totally full. JJ Wilson with a shocker in the main event. It just takes 37 seconds. Drog Kelly came out, was active, was looking to give a lot of weapons, and was putting a lot of offense out there. JJ Wilson stayed composed, and a really beautiful combination that you don't see that often. Left body kick to left hook for the killer knockout. Huge congratulations to JJ Wilson, taking out the short notice opponent and ruining the night for the Irish. Dean Garnett with one of the most beautiful spinning back elbows we've seen this year. Last year, the year of the spinning back elbow, and he catches Karrion Clark coming in. Clark was throwing a whole lot of offense in there, wasn't landing, and got overzealous. When you get that agitated feeling, dove right into coming up and met an elbow, a hammer fist putting him out. And if you guys don't watch much PFL, if you're able to go back and watch any of it, Pedro Carvalho versus Sergio Casio. That's one of those fights where if you're a fight fan, there were so many ebbs and flows, swings of momentum that this is a real one to go back and indulge. If you're just kind of bored on a weeknight and you're like, I don't have a fight to watch. Do I want to watch a fight? If you're able to go back and just see this one prelim from the PFL in Belfast, it's worth a good 15 minutes. The back and forth. Carvalho almost having Claudio out in the first round. The left hook was money. Claudio coming back, hurting Carvalho and nearly getting the finish in the third round. Epic cinema. playing out as Carvalho is able to survive and get the decision victory. The UFC, we covered all of that. MMA After Hours, it's up on cageminds.com. The bare knuckle world, though, was on fire Friday night. When we have Smash LT Nelson here, and he's going to be joining us in just a couple minutes, we'll get into that BKB 53 card. Outside of BKB, though, outside of the Trigon, BKFC was busy. Half the company was in Denver, Colorado, BKFC 88, and the other half of the company was in Australia. A couple hours later, a doubleheader. I mean, the doubleheader of doubleheader proportions with BKFC 88. And in the main event, it lived up to the high pace, gritty expectations. I don't know if anyone knew going in, but Chris Camozzi, little finesse to us, had already decided this was it. He was going to hang up the gloves, which he had already taken off in this moment. This was the farewell song, and he decided to go out there and let it all fly. He decided to go out there, make the most of his last time getting in a fight. Chris Camozzi went out to the main event of BKFC 88 and just had fun. Went out there to get into a brawl, and you kind of knew that was going to happen if you saw the interview last week. Camozzi was ready for the chaos. Camozzi understood that he was going to have to head on meet the aggression, the explosiveness, and the powerfulness that Esteban Mohawk Rodriguez brings into the cage, that there wasn't going to be a beautiful exchange, that there wasn't going to be a tit for tat kind of battle. And hi, Rick Wiz, just saw your comment. Hello. And indulged in the battle. And it was of gladiator proportions, this back and forth, biting down on the mouthpiece, exchanging big old hooks, pushing a frantic pace. And then you saw the damage, the mileage, the wear and tear start to accumulate. The bridge of the nose, the left eye is starting to get damaged, but the veteran composure as Camozzi was able to drag it into the clinch, that physical size. You saw the pep in the step was on the side of Mohawk Rodriguez, and then Camozzi started to wear on him. Camozzi getting into the clinch, getting into the dirty boxing areas, and then we saw a brief break. Couldn't tell if it was the headlock position, was it the headbutt? What led to the physician stopping? It wasn't never really made clear, but no points were deducted, and the fight resumes. And just as it looked like Esteban Rodriguez was, I want to say walking the plank, but probably in the worst position he could be in, all of a sudden there was a second life. Every moment that the doctors were evaluating, you've got to give Rodriguez credit for go Celtics. I don't know about that one. This is a combat sports podcast. I know that we already talked about LaMelo Ball. That was a pretty sweet trip that he took on Bam Adebayo, but shout out Freddie Sandoval. I think I just lost people bringing up basketball all of a sudden. Chris Camozzi, Esteban Rodriguez took advantage of being able to recover in a elite level way while he was in that doctor's stoppage and came back out, and it looked like that second win completely changed the tide and momentum of that fight. So much damage accumulating, and the huge victory for Esteban Rodriguez, your interim champion. That would make it seem like Alessio Sakara is next. And I've heard rumors now coming from bare knuckle people is Alessio Sakara coming back to the promotion or not? Could Esteban Rodriguez possibly find himself against a Lex Ludlow, a Carl Thompson? There are some options out there. The cruiserweight division totally changes complexion now with the Mohawk in the driver's seat, with Esteban Rodriguez coming off of the ultra passionate interview and story that we've seen him cultivate. An absolutely massive victory at BKFC 88, owning the moment. And it's not even like a sad farewell. Chris Camozzi still performing very well in this game as he's welcoming in fatherhood. He looks to take his life in a different direction. And now you can see the value, the benefits, the validation almost that BKFC gave him and the doors that it's opened. That opportunity now being handed over to Mohawk Rodriguez is something beautiful. And we waste no time in the cruiserweight division wondering if a new contender has emerged as Josh Frem knocked out Jared Dorganson in very impressive fashion. A left hook, a follow-up left hook, the finish, just 1 minute and 31 seconds into the opening round. Josh Frem, though, was only on loan from the PFL. Even though if you're wondering, if you saw the press conference and some highlights going around, I wondered who was yelling at Frem in the press conference. And it turned out to be none other than friend of the show. And we'd love to hear from the one and only Lorenzo Hunt, the BKFC champion who wants the Mike Perry fight, deserves the Mike Perry fight. I wonder if he may have found a new target as Lorenzo Hunt jaw-jacking and seemed to have garnered the attention of Josh Frem. And that may be to the benefit of Frem. He's going to go to the PFL, it sounds like, and try to handle some business, but felt very good about his performance. And I think he felt good enough about it to be intrigued to want to return to bare knuckle boxing. So Josh Frem could be a new player in the cruiserweight division as he would take the spot of now his retired friend, Chris Camozzi, who came, did his thing, won the championship. I don't think he should have lost it in the fashion that he did. This was much more the fight to solidify that there was a better cruiserweight right now than the harsh decision that went against him in Italy. I'd still say if he felt like the champion after that one, which he pretty much did, according to our interview, it was not a surprise to me. Rodney Hinton delivered one of the fastest knockouts of the night, stopping Andrew Yates in just 22 seconds. It's that precision. It's landing the right shot. The jab, if you can land it to the eye, it's so detrimental. Huge knockout win for Hinton. And in the flyweight division, Octavio Turner with a dominant performance over Joby Steffenmeyer en route to unanimous decision victory. I felt that Turner displayed everything, all the necessary skills that you want to see out of a young prospect as we're looking to develop that BKFC flyweight division. And on the card, they did have news about that flyweight division as Andrew Strode has signed a 3-fight deal. And there's a lot of speculation that talk between him and John Dodson. Could we get that unification bout? There's a lot of speculation that is on high order for BKFC to have those conversations this week. Gonna try to have John Dodson on this show next week to see if we do have any resolution, any kind of timeline for when the flyweight champion can get back in bare knuckle. And I believe it'd only be appropriate to unify with the interim champion. All that would make a lot of sense. 15 minutes away from our guest, 15 minutes away from Smash LT Nelson, the 2-division BKB world champion, gonna be here shortly. Now, just as soon as you closed your eyes, it was just a couple hours later, the BKFC then debuted in Australia. Dave Feldman and select members of the team that were not in Denver were down in Australia. Heard it was a ruckus crowd. And we talk about the BKFC Fight Club coming and that cultivating the next big thing, cultivating more prospects and the next generation of BKFC fighters, going to Honolulu and going to Australia. I think is already remedied if we are looking for more talent and more excitement. Hayes Happy, now 3-1, gets his revenge. The second round knockout of Krzysztof Winnicki. The right hook was all money, a much different fight than what we saw in October. And to me, Happy looked a lot slimmer and a lot more agile in this fight, which I thought was beneficial. Mark Flanagan, two-time title challenger in glove boxing, is eaten up by the educated left hand of Dylan Prostorov. Another heavyweight who could be making noise, 2-0 now, and bare knuckle, and just closed up Flanagan's eye in 2 minutes. The jabs, the hooks, educated offense. This was a huge, huge night going down under because of what this put together in the heavyweight division. Like you had Fetangi Tuivala, who had a one-punch overhand right coming over the top on Patrick Talani, knockout. Absolutely brilliant punch. Ryan Whitnett in the lightweight division, who had the hands low style, got caught early, cut up, and then came back to absolutely pulverize Cooper Clark. This card had it all, including, I believe, a fight that had 3 knockdowns in under 1 minute. BKFC went over to Australia, and I think you found the question to cultivating new talent, to really bringing a fresh feel and it's a breath of fresh air to the promotion. Honolulu in Australia, I think, did a whole lot of good in both directions for, hey, there's enough talent. I don't know if we need another series. Absolutely huge for the heavyweight division, I thought, and a huge weekend for the cruiserweight division. Not to mention, not sure how many of you guys have gotten into it, did check it out because of the pro wrestling aspect this past weekend. Our friends, Chelsea Dodson and Johnny Manga, with a huge weekend at PowerSlap 19 at the Chelsea. A breakthrough performance for Johnny Magna, who just continues to rise. A second round knockout. The big left paw gets the job done, and he is climbing up the rankings, the New Mexico Badass. And talking about the heavyweight division, former WWE standout Jake Hager delivered one of the night's most brutal knockouts, a heavyweight clash against Devin Jenkins, and Hager stunned Jenkins early, then followed up with a massive second slap. Jenkins managed to stand quickly, but he was wobbling, and it resulted in the third round knockout. In the heavyweight title co-main event, reigning champion Damon Dibble successfully defended his crown for a 5th time, stopping Darius Mata Verona via third round TKO. The dominance continues for the champion as he further cements his legacy. And in the main event, you had Dane Veneers, the Hawaiian Hitman, get a split decision victory. It was narrow, but he earned it over Maki Manu. It was a heavy hitting affair that could have went either way. Chelsea Dotson did her thing. If you've seen the highlights, credit that to Slap News. We also saw Las Vegas, New Mexico's lightweight champion, Robert Trujillo, with his coaching duties at PowerSlap 19. PowerSlap with huge announcement for International Fight Week. Your PowerSlap 21 main event, Isaiah Quinones makes his first defense of his second reign against surging knockout artist Stunt Marshall. He was successful earlier on the PowerSlap 19 prelims. That one also going to be at the Chelsea inside the Cosmopolitan. PowerSlap 19. That's going to be July 10th. That will be the night before UFC 329. And right now, heavy inclinations that Conor McGregor and Paddy Pimblett are both going to be on that card. Not sure where Conor's going to fight, but a lot of speculation. Paddy Pimblett, Benoit Saint-Denis, that one definitely gives new shape to the lightweight division and the title contention. You look at Pimblett, a win over a guy like Saint-Denis, who has started to put things together again since the loss to Dustin Poirier. He's got the win streak. He has become more defensively aware and still has the efficient elite level finishing and ability and big power in his hands. Paddy Pimblett, not the cleanest striking, but willing to get into a brawl, manages a fight well, thinks through it, has very solid grappling, and is adored by the fans. Saint-Denis, Pimblett, a big rumor, not to mention Conor McGregor's return at UFC 329. So yeah, the night before, you get PowerSlap 21. Well, we're talking about some news and notes real quick. Also going to throw out for you guys that the Darren Till debut hasn't been announced. It will be Liverpool. It will be May 30th. It makes the Connor Tierney, Rico Franco interim welterweight title fight almost feel like the co-main event. Darren Till gets that co-main event status. He's going to be taking on Aaron Chalmers. Chalmers has had bare knuckle, is unbeaten so far in BKFC, and is a Bellator veteran, fought primarily when Bellator was overseas in the UK. He was a reality TV star. I believe he was like on the UK equivalent of the Jersey Shore. And now this is quite a step up in competition for Aaron Chalmers to go from not well-known fighters and not super elite bare knuckle fighters to taking on a Darren Till who was a UFC title challenger, has big power, transitioned over to boxing. It was misfit boxing, but was very successful. I understand this will be his bare knuckle debut, and Chalmers has had the bare knuckle experience, but the elite level fighting experience, that leans heavily in favor of Darren Till. I feel like this one is going to be a dramatic action-packed fight that we will definitely see highlights of. So a big weekend for PowerSlap, a big weekend for BKFC. We are just moments away from our featured guest tonight, from talking with Smash LT Nelson, your middleweight and super middleweight BKB world champion, 2 Police Gazette Diamond Gold belts in his possession. And yes, Mark Tiffin did stagger him with the right uppercut. There was the early knockdown. LT had to recover. He found the left hook. He was able to line it up, measure it well, evens the score with a knockdown, feels the finish, puts on the pressure, lights up Tiffin, left hook to right uppercut for the finish, and still, and he'll be here in just a couple minutes, Smash LT Nelson. In the co-main event, Rowdy Montgomery put on a dominant performance against Brock Weaver, earning a unanimous decision. Montgomery set the turn early with a knockdown in the closing seconds of the first round. Beautiful right hook. He continued to assert himself in the second round, dropping Weaver with a pair of right uppercuts, and by the fourth round added a third knockdown from a left hook, cruising to a unanimous decision win. The lightweight title picture got a shakeup as John Bernard captures the gold. An early knockdown from Jared Grant thought he was on his way to victory. Bernard showing his resilience, getting up off the canvas, and as Grant looks to capitalize in the second, swarming in there, he has the collar tie that is an also beautiful trademark of bare knuckle, launching in the right hands and a counter right hand over the top, beautifully right, glancing on the chin, touches the button, great velocity, and snapping Grant's head back for the knockout 41 seconds into the second round. The new champion gets the knockout of the night honors. And what was a short-lived celebration as the Trigon started to fill up with challengers. The newly signed Armando Vargas hasn't even fought in bare knuckle yet. And he said, we can make money. If it's a big fight and I'm getting paid big, I'd love to jump in here. Rightfully, Bernard said, maybe you need to get your feet wet in here before you're talking to the champ. And that opened up the segue for Alberto Blas to want to jump in there. Blas, as we know, came over from BKFC, has capitalized by gaining another title in BKB and could become a 2-division champion should BKB make that fight with John Bernard, which, if we're talking big business, Armando Vargas proving himself doesn't sound like a bad idea. He's still a prospect, even in the world of professional boxing, even in the glove boxing, where, oh yeah, Dana White and TKO Boxing have to come to an agreement with Conor Benn, a multi-fight deal. I believe the next 2.5 years or so, he'll be fighting with Zuffa Boxing. Vargas can prove himself in bare knuckle. Alberto Blas already has. Alberto Blas versus John Bernard, that's big money. That's a big time crossover fight, champion versus champion. And I feel like that one does make a lot of sense, signaling to move up in weight class, and let's see if it happens. Now, there is no way to move up in weight class from the super heavyweight division. I don't know if we're going to get to super duper heavyweight, but at 320 pounds, I was quite impressed by the fast hands of Juan Adams, who continues his path of destruction. Just 23 seconds to dispatch of Nate Roberts, a barrage of uppercuts, and it's over quickly. The UFC vet really has found a home without the gloves on, which really has surprised me. Adams, his background, wrestling, college wrestling, professionally excelling without the gloves in bare knuckle boxing. Also, one of the things that stood out on the night was the incredible war between Roberto Duran Jr. and Austin Spivey. Duran, he wants to become the king. He wants to get a world title. He wants to make a mark and get his legacy built in this sport. Here in Fight of the Night honors, he imposed his will early. He scored multiple knockdowns in the first round. The second round, he got one with the right hook. He puts away the fight in the third. It looked like exhaustion was almost playing in with a frantic pace. Spivey barely clinging on to the ropes, getting knocked out partially. Duran boldly proclaiming he wants to be the king. But to do that, you have to get by some pretty stiff competition. Any minute now, we are expecting the champion to join us. Smash LT Nelson, not just one, but 2 title belts, middleweight and super middleweight king of BKB. The man has taken adversity, and literally each time he is knocked down, he gets back up and keeps throwing. A vicious left hook and a tenacious will. Gonna check on our guest real quick. Think we're on track for him to come up in just a moment. While we're waiting for Smash, also bring up globally this past weekend, talk about another king of the sport that doesn't get a lot of recognition. If you guys will recall, last week I brought up KSW, Polish promotion, one of the bigger international promotions, them and Octagon doing really successful business throughout Europe. Phil DeFries, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu coach for Tom Aspinall, a UFC vet, claimed his 14th title defense in a row at KSW 117. It's something to marvel at. Someone that has found their niche, found their company, and found a way to put it all together like Phil DeFries has. He has been a king of KSW. And like I said, he was going to join us, and I already see he's ready. The king of BKB is here. How you doing tonight, Smash LT Nelson?
Hey, what's up, bro? I'm good, man. Good. Super happy. Had a good good, nice win. Didn't get too many blemishes or anything, bruises or marks. So I'm super blessed.
I was going to say, you said not too many blemishes. Is that a blemish up there?
Yeah, it's a weird, like I got like a weird scrape thing from the fight, but I don't know.
Is it just the LT Nelson way that you have to make it a little bit dramatic? You got all the fans to gasp as you go down in the first
Yeah.
first exchange.
I guess, man. I guess I feel bad. I always apologize to my coach and my girlfriend and my mom and dad. Obviously, you know what I'm saying. But it's just I feel like it helps. I feel like it helps get the crowd going. You know what I'm saying. So it helps everything in a way be more exciting. So and it wakes me up. You know what I'm saying. I don't know why. I know I have the slaps for that. I'm getting slapped now. It does wake me up more, but shoot, man, I'm still working those little kinks out, and we'll keep on being better every time. But I know I bring the action, so that's what counts.
Is that a thought that somebody need to slap you, rough you up a little bit more in the warm up to wake you up?
Yeah, I guess something, bro. I guess something like that. We're just keep on refining and getting better. And I was definitely moving better and feeling better than even the last, like the Barry Jones fight, for saying it took me a second to like to get going. This one I felt like I got going right away. I just ate that shot on the inside. I felt like I saw everything coming. Everything was great, and then all of a sudden, I leaned a little too much forward and got my head grabbed, and just got hit in the right spot and went down for a second, and then obviously I'm gonna come back stronger than after or before I went down, and I'm gonna finish that person, and just like I've been showing you. The last fight with Sam Liera, this fight now, I'm gonna keep on putting people away. I'm gonna keep on putting people away first round. I'm not letting any judges have any kind of say on my future anymore. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's going away. I'm putting them away. But no matter what, I'm always prepared for the 6 round war if needs be.
You've been there before. You've seen it. You've had to deal with that moment. What is happening in those seconds when you're like, oh, damn it, my knees touch the ground? That counts as a knockdown. How do you recompose and what's the thought process?
Honestly, it's real weird, but like my first thoughts in my head is like, my coach is pissed at me. I'm pissed at myself. And damn, that was slightly embarrassing. I just went down in front of a bunch of people. It's like a weird thought process where you hit the ground and want to get up. Like, I want to get up right away. But like, at the same sense, be smart with how I'm getting up and how I'm feeling and whatnot. But damn, bro, that homie, big shout out to Mark Tiffin. He's got some power in his hands. I didn't expect that. He grabbed my neck and threw a couple little uppercut, not little obviously, but some uppercuts and all, and one of those put me down. You know what I'm saying? So that's it's another thing with this bare knuckle game, bro. I always say don't blink. You're gonna miss it, and it's true, man. It doesn't matter who you are, what level you're at. It's there's always that puncher's chance, but the difference is you're punching me, and I'm going to get up and come back forward harder than ever. And that could happen not just once, it could happen a million times. I'm sorry to say, you're going to have to kill me to put me out.
What is it about you and your mentality? How are you able to have that recovery and get your head and get your legs back into a fight?
Well, man, I'm blessed with a jaw and a chin, you know what I'm saying? But I also put work in. Like, I'm on my legs daily, every day. I'm putting miles in on the track running. I'm putting miles on the Stairmaster. I'm doing bike workouts. I'm swimming for my car. I'm doing a little bit of everything, and I feel like even me, like when I'm having to lose weight for fights, I'm hitting stairs. I'm hitting lots of stuff on with my legs, and people are like, "Oh, are you sure you should do that for your legs this close to your fight?" But it's like that's the reason why I have a good jaw. It's not just me being blessed with a good jaw. I got a big nice forehead here to take punches. You know what I'm saying? But it's literally me doing work on my legs every day and being on my legs. You got that strong base you got a strong base. It helps when you feel wobbly or something up in your head. You're not going to show it and not going to be wobbly because you got that base underneath you, even if your equilibrium's not fully there. You know what I'm saying? Or or if it goes out for a second, it comes back a lot quicker. You know, I also do neck drills weekly. I do neck drills twice a week. I'm doing leg work, like leg workouts, not meaning like lifting and doing, but I'm doing like squats, squat holds, and like body weight stuff like that, or smaller weight for high repetitions where I'm going and getting my like muscle cardio up, because people are like, oh, you just need, cardio and then lifting weights. They forget about that there's like muscle endurance too, and that's a big part of the game too. So I'm doing cardio and I'm doing muscle endurance, and I got my legs underneath me, bro, all the time, and I'm blessed with a jaw.
I've seen a recent conversation going on, and I want to get your input on where you fall. Some people say sprints, some people say miles, and I've seen a lot of conversation about you don't get better cardio from one, or you just need the burst depending on what kind of sport. What do you think is best for bare knuckle and for you?
For bare knuckle and for me, all the same as I've been doing for most of my fight game, bro. Is the extra work and the miles and putting all of it together. It's not just like my sprints. It's not just my long distance. It's not my short run mixed with stairs mixed with bike. It's not my bike and swim day. It's not this or that. It's not my Tabata workouts. It's a mixture of everything that I do, man. You have to do a little of everything. I go rock climbing. I go mountain biking. It's like I feel like all of these play a little testament and a little contribute slightly to my cardio, to my athleticism, to my fight game. It helps me like get my head elsewhere out of the fight game and grow somewhere else in my life. And then when I bring that growth back to the fight game, if that makes sense, it helps me get better in that fight game. And then just being there and doing different kind of sports and different athletic, having different athletic traits helps you in different situations, like the quick burst, and then all of a sudden the fight's 6 rounds, and you have to be there with the quick burst while I'm going nonstop for 3 minute rounds, 6 rounds of that. I'm doing all this stuff to emulate the fight as much as I can while staying active and not hurting myself nonstop.
You got knocked down, you recover, you get your head back into the fight. Did you expect going in that your left hook was going to be as pivotal to your offense as it was?
Man, I train everything. I love my right hand. I love that. I love smashing people with that thing. But man, my left, my right, I'm dangerous everywhere, man. Leo Perucci, Forza Combat Sports. We've been just upgrading my game and not changing it, but upgrading it, making it better, making it stronger. We do crazy different drills where I have to sit down in a chair and throw combos on the pads nonstop and power shots nonstop while I'm having both my feet on the ground and staying like square with my hips, but still rotating with my core and stuff. You know what I'm saying? There's random drills and work that he makes me do to like that. It helps like, and then you'll see me. I'm trying to get better at, but you'll see me like step to a square stance, and like people think that obviously I'm getting better at being more harder to hit, but still I want to be able to throw from every position and every spot and have power with that. And I feel like I've been able to do that, and I can get my head in random places and throw from random places where people might not think it looks as powerful as it can be or this or that, but I promise you it's powerful. And the thing is, I got great accuracy and timing with my shots. I might not be like, oh my word, LT's the most explosive fast twitch guy in the world. It's not about that always. It's about timing, accuracy, that consistency, that flow, and I got some power, man. I got power behind that, and I'm gonna keep on showing that to people by putting these people away.
And you showed that. Did you kind of know that you had Mark pretty well hurt after that first knockdown?
Yeah, 100%. After that first knockdown, he got, yeah, you saw him. He got up all quick, and then he took a knee again. I could tell that, he took a knee again and took a few seconds, which was smart of him. But after he got up, he still had a little wobbliness. I personally saw in his legs, and and the problem with him is, he's a little bit tougher than I think he thinks should be in that sense. And he showed that a little wobbly legs and then steps forward at me. You know what I'm saying? That might not be the smartest idea, especially with someone like me. Especially after you just dropped me. I'm about to kill you now.
There was a point where there was a narrative about you being a slow starter, that Smash needed the championship rounds to be able to get the job done. Was that narrative at any way influential into this emphasis that you've putting into getting guys out of there in this efficient manner now?
Man, it's not even influential, but I just love it because now people are going to be double scared, bro. People better watch out because I'm ready to go to war. I'm ready to go 6 rounds, and people have seen me go 6 rounds, and every round I'm getting stronger. I'm going harder. I'm going to kill even more, and people should be scared because now I'm starting quicker, and people are going to get hurt at the start. You're going to get hurt round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, however many rounds it takes, and my output's going to keep on going up. My power is going to stay there. I'm sorry, it's going to be the craziest fight of your life, or you're going to get put out. That's how it's going to be.
After the first title fight of the night, when John Bernard hits that big overhand, well, actually, were you even working out? Were you warming up at that point, or were you able to watch that fight?
So I was warming up, but also there was there was no one else in really back there anymore. But my coach was back there. My other friend from England that was in my corner was there. Shout out to Tom Curran. I'm not Tom Curran, to Thomas McFadden. Sorry, I was just talking to my other friend Tom Curran. But shout out to Thomas McFadden from Coventry, England. He's the man, and his family and stuff. Always there for me. But yeah, so they had the fights on YouTube playing, and and they had him leaned up against the side of the ground and wall. So I was shadow boxing, moving, touching some pads, and then we were just paying attention a little slightly. And I missed part of the first round and a lot of the action. And then I look over and they sort of get in a clinch or something like that, and I just see John threw an overhand right and just touch and put it. I was like, oh shit, bro. So I caught the knockdown. I didn't catch the start of the fight or whatnot, but big up to John Gotti and Bernard. Both of them are true warriors and put on a hell of a show. But Bernard got that win. He's nice with it, clean with it, and shout out to Hawaii out there. Hawaii, all those guys out there, badasses, man. Hell yeah.
Are you at all disappointed that when you win, the ring's not filling up with challengers after seeing John gets a belt and he turns around, Alberto's right there, Armando Vargas is right there, and you win and you're just doing an interview?
Yeah, I went on doing an interview and half the stadium was cleared out. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting used to seeing that more. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like people are like, oh, we're gonna get out before all these people. I've done the same thing at fights before, or different things. So I'm not hating, but I do. It's not about me being upset that people didn't jump in the ring. I felt slightly sorry for John Bernard when he got a lot of his shine taken away. But at the same sense, when he grabbed that mic, he said that he held his word true and was telling that Vargas brother once you step in here and you see real bare knuckle, then we can talk. You know what I'm saying? And it's the truest sense of it, bro. It's amazing all these gloved boxers coming into our sport. You know what I'm saying? And we're all blessed and we're all happy. We're all happy about it. Not only is it putting a new pedestal on us as bare knuckle boxers, but also we're going to be able to prove ourselves to maybe all these naysayers or these boxers that think we don't have skills or this and show ourselves. Test ourselves against people that we know about, that we've looked up to in boxing or seen fight before or this or that, you know what I'm saying? So it's a cool test on us. But not only that, the biggest part of this that's amazing for us is that money, baby. You know, they're getting these people over here. Come on. You're getting the Vargas brothers, you're getting the Paulie Malignaggi to fight, you're getting Victor Ortiz's, all these badass boxers and different people coming over from BKFC, the boxers from England coming over. All these people, bro. You know, there's no way that they're not getting paid. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sorry to say that's going to help us out too. As it's going to help the whole boxing community. Is going to help the bare knuckle community. It's going to help me as a fighter. It's going to help the fighters that are coming up. And it is going to help BKB as a whole, too. It's awesome having these great faces because it's going to bring more eyes to the bare knuckle game, help us out, help BKB out as a promotion because they're such an amazing promotion that should be a household name. And just keep on growing this bare knuckle fight game and showing people that us as entrepreneur, as like the starters in this game too, we still have something to say and we know how to fight and we know how to fight and we're gonna keep on proving that too.
When you look at the boxers being added, a name that I'll throw in there that I wonder if intrigues you, I believe Alfredo Angulo,
Oh yeah,
former
yeah,
glove world champion, can get into your weight class.
yeah. I think that's actually one of them that yeah. Most of the other ones, most of the other guys are smaller, huh? Yeah, most of the other
Exactly.
guys are smaller and what, and you know, and I feel like who's a hasn't Angulo fought like
He fought
he
Julian
fought,
Lane in
no, but
BKFC, and
no, but he fought in glove boxing. Didn't he fight like Canelo and
yeah,
or
yeah.
yeah, fucking that's just cool to me, bro. Just like just be, you know, just sharing ring space with someone and like, you know, people look at things differently. I just think stuff like that's cool and maybe in a time when I was like up and comer in the fight game or this and that, you know, this person's fighting legends, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
So just to throw it out at you, he shared the ring with guys like Irslandi Laura, with Canelo Alvarez, with Sergio Mora, just to throw out a few. But yeah, no, like that sounds like a cool fight for you.
Yeah, for sure, bro. And just like I'm saying, let's get this. You know, I'm trying to get this contract out the way. I got two more fights now before I believe they're gonna renegotiate with me. You know, we do a 4 fight deal, and normally after 3 fights before I have my last fight before I'm like an open agent, you know, we'll discuss a new program. So let you know, give me two more fights and then let's get these big boxing names out there and let's change my contract a little bit so I can start getting paid money like I know these boxing names are getting paid.
The Barry Jones saga, that was something that had started before the first time I ever met you. And do you feel like that has ended yet, or is that something that you still need to tend to?
I think that ended after I knocked him out, and you know I don't know how there wasn't anything really close about it for there to be like a rematch, other than if there was no one else to fight me, I guess. But so I think that should have ended it out. But like you know, big shout out to him. He's a legend in the sport, and if he wants to keep on. You know, I don't know, coming back out of retirement and risking another loss on his record or something like that, then you know do what he wants to do. But like you know, I think that you know you're ready, dude. Yeah, you know you had a name for yourself. I'm a new name, bro. I'm the new spot. I'm the new one now, bro. It's just how it is. It's just how it is. It's how it's going. There's other new ones too. Look, Cub took that from him. There's Martin there's the heavyweight, the badass heavyweight Cuban. You know what I'm
Gustavo
saying?
Trujillo.
There's Gustavo Trujillo, bro. Like you know, there's different names now that are forces to be reckoned with in this fight game. We got them here at BKB. You know, obviously BKFC they got big names. They got some good names and whatnot too, and power to them. But we got some big fighters and big names over here at BKB. And obviously, I know Russia has top dog for top dogs, and they have big promotion and big fighters. We all have amazing fighters. We all got talents. We all put on fights, and it's amazing, and maybe one day, which would be so awesome, is like a worldwide like bare knuckle tournament where like the best in every weight class fight for a tournament, you know what I'm saying? And or I mean, just like some cool things. It's probably never gonna happen because every fight promotion wants to be their own crap and this and that, which I understand. There's the industry and money, which I'm not involved in. I fight people, you know what I'm saying? So there's probably reasons for that. But at the same sense, it would be cool, doing some cross promotion fights. You never know what the future could bring or what that would hold. But I'd always be down, man. I love to test myself and put myself out there. That's why I think those new boxers coming in is a great new kind of test for me. But just if they ever branch out or anything like that, that'd be cool too.
So as a competitor, well, first as a fight fan and then think as a competitor, are you watching these other promotions and are you allowing yourself to indulge in, man, I wish I could fight this guy. I wish I could fight that guy. Do you let yourself have those kind of thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I always let my health have a thought. It's less of like it's less of like a wish. It's more of like, oh, that'd be sort of fun. That'd be a badass fight. Or like, damn, that guy's sort of a G, but damn, let me see what's up. Like, I'm gonna show him what's up. Kind of, it's like those kinds of thoughts more than like, oh, I wish I could fight these guys because there's no one, or this or that. It's definitely not that. It's more of like that'd be a cool fight, or holy crap, the fans would go crazy for this one, more kind of thought, you know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, I think about that.
Well, not those other promotions. Who do you see in BKB right now? Who do you expect the contract to be slid across? Like, do you have an expectation at this point, or are you not sure what you think is next?
Man, I'm really, really not sure. Obviously, I showed people that I can make this 160-pound weight class again. That I had that belt for a long time without having to defend it, but just defended that one. So show people remind people that's still a weight class. I know there's people fighting in that weight class. So if someone needs me to defend that again, we can do that. I'm not sure who's the number one coming up in the come or whatever it is in that weight class. I know that on my super middleweight belts, I know they always have like the same few people to fight. So, if they have some new people, which I know there's always some guy's coach online or some person online saying, I'll fight you and this. And like, obviously, just like people just I don't know if people understand, like, cool, yeah, you might have won a fight or two. But there's also levels to the game or time to be here and things that the promotion looks at for things to happen, and I'm personally not the one like, oh, I want to fight him this date and this and that. Like, I'll say yes and like maybe have my coaches might say no to things, and then I'm like, yeah, no, but we discuss things and have reasons for everything. It's not like me sitting there and like, I'm nervous to fight that guy. I don't want that one. Or it's like, so the thing, I think every fighter should know that, and every fighter, if they're not like me and like most of the other guys that I know, will fight any human around. I'll fight anyone at my weight classes any freaking time, and I'll go up. Pretty high if the money is really right, if the money's really there, you know what I'm saying? But I'm fighting at super middleweight and middleweight, and I want to go down and get that 154-pound belt. I know right now, Paulie Malignaggi and Rolando D or Die, I'm not sure. Sorry, D. Yeah, so Rolando D, cool dude. Both of them great champion, great fighters, and if they give me the opportunity to go down and get that belt, that'd be a cool fight. We'll see but obviously they're about to fight in this coming month, and then we'll see how long that takes for them to recover. I never know about how long it takes for people to recover. I'll fight next week again. Look, my hands are ready. Everything's ready. You know what I'm saying? I heal quick, but but so I'm always down for that fight in the future if I'm able to, if the promotion gives me the opportunity, even if they give me the opportunity to get the belt, and then after I win the 154-pound belt, open it back up for everyone and go back to my weight classes, more of just like a show myself that I can do it, and show like some people that might not believe I can, show people I can do that as well, and then go back to my super middleweight and middleweight if the promotion doesn't want me to have three, you know what I'm saying? But at
So
least give me the option to win one.
So what you're saying is let's not clog up a division. You can understand balancing three belts would be hard, but you'd love to go for the historical premise of making it and then go back to defending your titles.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying, and I told them that before, and I'll say it again to them. You know what I'm saying? That like I would just I just would I personally would be honored and think it would be a cool spot in history for myself and the bare knuckle world if I won that, and I will win that third belt when they give me the opportunity to, and then I'm gonna, if they need me to, I will release that belt that I just won right after I win it and go back to my super middleweight and middleweight, because I much rather would be I would rather not cut weight. You know what I'm saying? I don't like cutting much weight, and I don't have to cut a lot of weight to get to 54, but it's still more than I like to do. So I would rather fight at super middleweight and middleweight. But if they allow me to get that 54-pound belt, awesome, I'll go get it. You know what I'm saying? And then if they want me to stick with it and keep all three, then I'll do that as well.
Big expectations, big hopes. The two division champion is conquering BKB. You've been around BKB for now quite a while, 10 fights in with them. Recently, I saw a whole bunch of additions to the company. We're talking about the infrastructure of the company change, new presidents, new EVP CEOs. A lot of people were brought in. From your dealings with the company, can you feel those changes, and what do you feel those changes have been?
Yeah, I can definitely feel and even see the changes, man. Even just the little productions, the venues, the crowds, everything are getting more packed. There's like, every fight I've been to, every fight I've been to, like other promotions, and every time I go to different promotions, stuff, they're like, oh, it's a sold out crowd. Oh, it's this, and then like half the thing's not sold out and stuff like that. But the last few fights have actually been the last Foxwood show, this show here at the Seneca Resort. Like these shows, they're actually getting sold out, and the crowds are actually pretty packed. You know what I'm saying? Actually full, and the venues are looking better. They're getting like better screens around the top of the rings. The sponsors look better. The clothes designs are getting better. The hotels we're staying at are nicer and have better rooms and higher class hotels. So like these are all little things that maybe not everyone sees, but I definitely seen it because I've been here since the start, since I fought in Biloxi and BYB10 back in the day, man. And we were, it was different. It was different back then, and it's cool to see the growth. And and I love BKB, bro, and I'm gonna stick with this company as long as they can keep on going up in my contracts, like I believe that I deserve, and that I put on shows for the crowd, and I'm gonna keep on doing that, and I'm gonna keep on being face of this promotion. They just need to keep on upping that money. Like I know they can now.
What has been the key? Two divisions, looking at three divisions. What has been the key in a sport that is brand new to being able to stay on top, to staying ahead of this curve because it's constantly evolving?
Not letting yourself think that you're all the all that shit, if that makes sense. Like always know that you can be better, and you have to try to be better. I have, like, every time I'm unhappy about something in my fight. I could have done this better. I don't care how quick I knock someone out. I got dropped. There's improvements in that. There's improvements in maybe things up to the fight. There's improvements on things that maybe the way I ate. There's little things that I can always do and get better, and all those little things give me more motivation to be better for myself for my next fight, and just the just the knowledge that I am on top right now. I'm making myself have that drive by wanting to stay here, wanting to make a better life for myself and my family, wanting to show people that, I didn't just make it here and it was like, oh, a fluke. I'm showing people that I deserve to be here. I'm cementing my legacy, and I truly believe that I'm pound for pound number one, and I am the best in the world. And I'm not trying to like run my mouth talking crap. I'm gonna do it by proving it in the ring, proving it in the Trigon every time I step up there and putting a show out there, and then going back to the drawing board and going, doesn't matter who I beat or who or what belts I win. I'm getting back to the gym and working just as hard as before, working on those same things that I needed to work on in the last fight, and trying to improve every day. And as soon as people think they're all that and have no space for improvement, that's when there's no growth there anymore. You have to build and have that drive for yourself, whatever it comes from. If it's from your family, if it's from a kid that you're trying to have a better life for, if it's for me to help my mom and dad have a better life, it's for me to help my new girlfriend. I want to have a family with her, and I want to be able to be the best I can be for that. You know what I'm saying? The only way I can do that is by putting myself and pushing myself harder and harder every day, so when I go out there and fight, I am the best I can be.
Smash LT Nelson. He keeps pushing himself. He keeps trying to be better. First time I met him, he was talking about, I didn't fight. I went on vacation outdoors. We know that outdoors nature, it's huge for you. When did that start to connect with you? Why is that always it seems like from social media, always seems to be a symbol of peace for you getting outdoors?
Man, it's just not only a place that I can go find peace, but it's a place where I can find things that are extreme, like downhill biking, jumping off of cliffs, skiing. I can find that thrill that I love in fighting while enjoying nature and just being outside. I also go get amazing workouts out in the sun, bro. Get a suntan while I'm smashing. I'm at the beach, go run on the beach. I love to be outside. I love to connect with the earth. I'm not like tree hugger or that kind of crap, but I love to connect with the earth. I feel like it's big with, grounding yourself, feeling, we're I'm a part of this, I'm part of this world, and I love to be outside and take the energy in from the sun, and just enjoy what God put on this earth, man. It's just such an amazing, beautiful place that we live. I'm blessed to wake up in the morning, and I'm blessed to be able to throw down in front of amazing crowds. Hate me or love me, I love the cheers. I love the booze. It makes my life, man, and I'm just blessed to be able to show what I do in my arts in front of the world, man.
If we could go back in time, you could throw out like old name, any name. Is there a name that you've always dreamed of fighting? Is there that fight, even if it's somebody that's retired, not longer here with us? Is there a dream fight for Smash LT Nelson?
Conor McGregor.
I guess that's close enough to retire.
I've always wanted to fight Conor McGregor, and it's like around a weight class that he could like be, I could be. We both did MMA. Like I did MMA back in the day. He did MMA now. He probably he still does. And now he's like in the bare knuckle game, but not bare knuckle. He's done boxing. I've done box. It's like there's a lot of stuff. Our fight styles are not similar in the way, other than the fact that we both like to stand and bang and like to throw down, and we both, he might have that like speed and different kind of stuff like that, but we both have that accuracy, precision. I just think that once again it will be a cool fight, and he's always been someone that's like, I think it's like I've always thought he was a good fighter and this and that, but never always. I've never, what I'm saying, me, I'm not much of like a showboater or like shit talker, and I've always even back in the day growing up in school, bro, I like to put down those big bullies that talk shit, and then I put them down and it'd be a different story afterwards. You know what I'm saying? I always like to do that. So that's another person that it just no hate against him. He does his own thing and he's made millions doing it. Power to him for that sense. But at the same sense, it's just someone that I would love to be able to punch in the face. You know what I'm saying?
Who's the bare knuckle fighter? Because you can't watch yourself. I know you watch a lot of yourself because you watch your own footage back, but you don't watch yourself on fight night. So who's your favorite guy to sit down from the bare knuckle world and watch them fight?
Huh. How'd you think about that one?
Ah, I stooped him. See, we got a good one there. We're giving him a minute.
Yeah,
A lot of good guys there right now in
no,
BKB.
there's a lot of good guys in BKB, and actually I've watched some dudes out in Russia that I don't even know their names, and there's some like I've watched some of those like Mad Dog fights out there. I think it's called, and dude, there's some just random guys on like the up and coming card, and they're wearing like sweatpants and flat top shoes, just like like Converse kind of shoes and like sweatpants, and just like the having the craziest wars ever, but like have sick ass boxing and like clean movement and just from like a nothing gym, just like fighting with his like friend in the corner, and it's like damn, bro, what happens if this guy had like adequate training and it's like a slightly scary. So like maybe people. I think my favorite is watching some like random people that I don't even know who they are, but they got these crazy skills, and it just reminds me to that just be humble, bro. Everyone needs to be humble because there's always those mother effers out there that can bang and throw down that you don't expect, that maybe don't get the opportunities that we do, that we look over a lot. You know what I'm saying? We're super blessed to be in the U.S. here, living where we are, blessed to be able to get up in the morning and be in a free country. Big up to USA. There's a lot of problems here and different things that people don't agree on, but at the same sense, people forget that we're in a first world country. There's a bunch of negative. I'm from South Africa originally, and there's a lot more negativity on the streets out there than people remember, and it's a lot more dangerous. And we're super blessed to be able to walk around outside. Maybe not everywhere. I'm not saying every single spot, but like in a lot of places here, we're able to go around and you know vote, or like our my girlfriend and my mom have rights and stuff like that. That people forget that there's a lot of places that don't have the same kind of things that we do, and we're super blessed to have that, especially as athletes and especially as someone trying to make it in life. That's one reason that we came to the US from Africa. There's other reasons on top of that more, but that my parents brought me here when I was young to give me opportunity to do more, and not just like have to only, I can take over my dad's company. That's what I have to do because that's all I know. It's like, no, he gave me the opportunity to make my own mind up and do something that I love and become the best at what I want to be.
Do you ever look back and think of how, or put the thought in your head, how different things could have been if they didn't make that decision?
Yeah, 100%, bro. I don't even know if I would be in the United States if that was the case. I might be, working on agriculture somewhere with my dad. My dad has amazing agriculture product that would save world hunger if people used it more and opened their eyes more to it. So big up to Yield Plus. Check it out, www.yieldplus.com, if you're into anything, and that it can help any product from grass, your home grass, to fruit, to vegetables, to flowers, to even marijuana, if that's what you're into. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the best products around. And I hope that more people can open their eyes to it and see it as well, and it will and help, and hopefully it can help the world as well. You know what I'm saying? I think that's all we need to all be about, that just all trying to help each other more, and also just be better people, bro. Just have to put that out there 100%, and I think I'm in a good spot to be able to showcase being better people, just trying to be a good person. You don't have to be all stuck up or a certain type of way because of where you are always. Just we're all people. We all we all live on this earth. We can help each other out and be good people.
Your parents made a lot of sacrifices. That's obviously a long way to move from South Africa to, is Oklahoma where you've always been, or?
No, we were in Colorado first. Amazing. But we were in California for a short time, and then Colorado, and then from there, I moved out to Oklahoma. My parents live actually in Italy, and they go back to South Africa to see my grandma nonstop, and they have property out there. But they're back and forth between Italy and South Africa. They just always come and visit me, or and they do their medical stuff out here in Oklahoma, and so they come out here to do some of their medical stuff, and then they go back out there, or they come out for my fights. So it's pretty cool.
Wow. Yeah. So that was a lot of sacrifice. So seeing that strength, like I said, to come all the way from South Africa, how did that kind of affect you? What did that impart on you growing up?
Man, they've always just taught me to, like, no matter where you've come from, no matter, what you've gone through, what you've been through, where you are right now, you can always, make those sacrifices and work harder. And, no matter how negative your time has been in the situation, it's all about how you are in your head and how you proceed in the future. It's not about holding on to those negative times or those bad times in your life, or those times where I was making bad decisions, or those times where this was hard, or this. I move forward, and I've always been taught to move forward in my life, and my parents have shown me that through giving me an amazing life, even when they were going through hard, terrible times in their life. I didn't have to suffer because they pushed through those times and made it so that I can see that no matter what, there's it sounds cliche, but there's greener grasses on the other side. For some people it might not come right away. For others it might come in a snap. Others it might take a year or two, but then, or 3 or 4. But once you keep on working hard and you put that time in, and those greener grasses show up, everything is so much more worth it, and really worth it in time, and you see all those blessings come true. And
Smash
things
LT.
don't always happen when the people have to remember, things don't always happen exactly when you want them to. So prayer, all that stuff. I pray to the Lord all the time. I pray for things all the time, and they don't happen right away. But then later on, something comes, like, oh, whoa, I remember saying for that, it maybe didn't happen as soon as I wanted it to, but it did happen, and it happens when it needs to, for like the real reasons.
Pound for pound, #1 in bare knuckle boxing, according to BoxRec, according to BKB, 2 Police Gazette diamond gold belts to prove it. So smash LT Nelson. Congratulations on the continued success.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you very much, and it was good to talk to you, man. Good to be on the show.
It was great to talk to you, and we'll catch up again soon.
Much love, brother.
You have a good night.
You as well, man.
He gets knocked down, but he truly does always keep coming back at you. Smash LT Nelson. I literally can't wait to see. I mean, he makes a great argument. Paulie Malignaggi, Rolando D winner. Imagine if they give him that fight, and then Smash gets an opportunity for history. He gets an opportunity to get that 3rd world title. And at that point, if D has beat Malignaggi, he's a made man and a superstar. If Malignaggi has beaten D, he is now a crossover world champion. The implications and what there is to gain from Smash, from that kind of a victory, and what it does for his legacy. Already a surefire Hall of Famer if he's not in there 2 times, and he'll probably be in there a few more times, even for getting the 2nd world title for some of these crazy fights. Smash LT Nelson doing what he can to put BKB on the map, to put himself in a position to be known in this bare knuckle game. Bites down on his mouthpiece, keeps coming back, and there's a lot more game plan behind what he implements in violence and what he wants to lead onto. He knew, you saw the smile, everybody, when I brought up the left hook. He knew it was going to work. He knew that was a weapon that was going to pay off, and he put it to great use. BKB, they've literally restructured their infrastructure. They have restructured their management. They have now added in, it looks like, a great amount of talent into their broadcast booth. Not some that they didn't have a bunch, but they added some more boxing people in there. It feels like BKB is really positioning themselves to make a move this year and to have a much bigger presence in the combat sports landscape. Love what they're doing. BKFC between Honolulu, Denver, and then over to Australia. Absolutely incredible. In 7 days, they did 3 events. Maybe you want to call it 8 days. Bare knuckle on fire. I don't know if you're in on PowerSlap. It's here to stay. So we're getting more in on it, showing the respect to the athletes that are putting in the effort. If you missed the interview with Chelsea Dodson, I really love that one because we try to illuminate the technique, the strength and conditioning that goes behind it, and really the game planning, what you have to do and how you have to facilitate everything leading up to the match to be successful in PowerSlap. A lot more than just walking up and slapping somebody, making sure you're accurate, you're technical, making sure that you're defensively sound. And there are ways to be defensively sound. As long as it's here, we might as well dive into it. Now, as I'm saying that about PowerSlap, I'm still not sure if we're going to have any run it coverage. If you guys haven't seen that from New Zealand, you have a ball carrier, basically looks like a rugby ball, and you have a defender, and you have 2 individuals, like, head-on collision, and one person is usually rendered fully unconscious. I don't know if I'm going to get there. If you go to our social media, we're going to be putting up some highlights on the story of some of the more bizarre things I've been sent in the last week. Also, just to tell you guys, there's table brawl. There is a country where boxing gloves on, 2 combatants chained to each other. The chain is locked down in the middle of a table, and then you are able to box with each other. Yeah, that is actually something that's out there and existing in the world of combat sports, not to mention literally phone booth fighting and 2-on-2 chained together MMA. Coffin MMA may be your thing. What about car jiu-jitsu? Some of this also came to mind because this past week, Cage Minds Fight Hour, ESPN Radio Albuquerque, 1017 The Team, and the individual interview is up on YouTube with full episodes on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Last week, I talked to Bare Knuckle Ice Wars president. Yeah, the president, Ian Heinrich, joined us to talk about the future of Bare Knuckle Ice Wars, the talent that they're bringing in, the kind of talent that they're looking for, the innovations that they've made to the sport, what they're doing to try to innovate it, try to make it as sane as it can possibly be. And when I first heard it, it was much the same of the reaction that I had to Bare Knuckle. I don't know about this. This might not be like, ooh, we're going to do Bare Knuckle Ice Wars now? Like, you got to be kidding me. And then I thought of the Lightning games and the Golden Knights games I've been to, and my now fandom of hockey. Well, NHL playoffs are going on. There's a roar in the crowd. There's an excitement. We can't deny this. I want to act high and mighty, but when a fight breaks out at a hockey game, it's absolutely thrilling, and everyone loves it. We're not talking about a crazy fight for Bare Knuckle Ice Wars. Bare Knuckle Ice Wars, it's 3 1-minute rounds. Hockey fights usually only last 15, 20 seconds. So maybe going a minute round is pushing it, but it's 3 1-minute rounds. And I started to be able to digest that maybe they're onto something. With that audience is looking for a fight. You want to see a fight. Bare Knuckle Ice Wars is going to bring us some fights. So go check out that interview with Ian Heinrich. I had a kick out of talking to him because it was the first time in 9 years that I did so. And we got to reminisce from the first time that I got to see him fight live. And I mean, when I say live, shout out Ryan Bevins for sticking me right cage side to write about the fight. And it ended up being the perfect panel of the cages. Right there is where Ian Heinrich submitted Lucas Almeida. We reminisce. Go check out the interview. I absolutely loved it. Like I absolutely loved last week getting to talk to Chelsea Dotson about PowerSlap, which shout out to all of the New Mexicans, all the people trying to do their things in the combat sports industry. Smash LT Nelson. Absolute pleasure getting to talk to the top pound for pound fighter in BKB. We're going to have Carlos Pacheco come by just a couple minutes. CFC 6 this weekend, El Paso County Coliseum. Southwest MMA, the Southwest fight scene, kind of starting to catch fire once again. Huge shout out to seeing what these guys have been doing to put over that El Paso area. Carlos will be joining us here at 7:30. Well, we have a couple minutes before he gets here. Shout out to Barbers R Us. Barbers R Us Beard Balm. I've got the cherry in now. Got to go re-up this week because they got the new scent. I believe we're looking at a lavender. Maybe it's a violet. I got to go check it out for sure. I will let you guys know next week. But that new is available. New scent. Barbers R Us Beard Balm. Exclusively available. BarberGabeFades.net. That's where you go to book your appointment. Walk-ins are always welcome and appreciated. 100 Coors Boulevard, Northwest, Lobo Plaza. But I'm telling you, you beat the lines by booking online. You're just able to walk in, jump in the chair. It's a little more efficient because you know they're busy. The way to go. Booking online at BarberGabesFades.net. It's where you pick up your Barbers R Us Beard Balm. Some more news from around the combat sports world. Karate Combat recently had an event in Russia. They will, I believe, be returning stateside May 2nd. Next weekend, it's coming out of the blue as Karate Combat 61 will be taking place. Patricky Pitbull Freire, the former Bellator ace, is going to be taking Shabai Rind, a Karate Combat lightweight champion. Big fight right away for Pitbull. You also get former PFL champion Larissa Pacheco making her debut. I was hoping ever since I met Larissa last year at the Hall of Fame induction for Amanda Nunes that we would be seeing her in the octagon, but that has not happened yet. So Larissa taking a fight with the Karate Combat, now having exited the PFL. Always fun to watch. Chris Barnett, international superstar, UFC vet, also going to be back in Karate Combat and coming off of a huge debut victory in Russia. Gurum Kuntaladze, the UFC vet, former training partner of Hamzat Chimaev, he will be returning to the Karate Combat Battle Zone on the night. We're about to have our CFC 6 preview. Carlos Pacheco is going to be joining us in a moment. BKFC Fight Night, Clearwater, the OCC Roadhouse this weekend. So you do get your bare knuckle fixing this weekend. Friday night, it's going to be BKFC Fight Night, Clearwater, the OC Roadhouse. Unfortunately, I believe due to injury on one side, Jared Warren, and visa issues, somehow Connor Cook, the other side, the entire expected main event has been scrapped. And a little bit surprising to me, Quentin Gaskins, Matt Guyman, who fought valiantly against Jamal Herring in his BKFC debut, but did take the loss, will be taking on Quentin Gaskins. I'm a little bit surprised that this is the main event when Ryan Reber, top 5 ranked, former title challenger in the bantamweight division, is going to be taking on, and they've left it in the co-main event, Joshua Oxidine. Oxidine fought for a BYB title. Oxidine had a brilliant debut at Knucklemania. Both guys very defensively aware. Maybe it's possibility that these two could go the distance if they're not able to cut off the ring against each other is the reason that they're not. But that feels like, unfortunately, the co-main event is going to be the night's true main event to me. Crystal Van Wink versus Catherine Pop Rocky in a women's strawweight bout, very pivotal for the top 5 rankings. Pop Rocky at 2-0, looking to cement herself up there. You're also going to have the return of Brendan Allen, was in the rankings previously, knocking on the door of a world title shot, and then it eluded him. He looks to make a comeback in a big way here. Diving a little deeper into that main event, it's what should be one of the more competitive matchups on the card. Gaskins enters with a slight edge inconsistency from his performance. Well, Guyman's record doesn't tell the story of how durable he's been, how willing he is to trade, and how back and forth his fights have been. Well, he's gotten in the face, like I said, of a Jamel Herrig. Well, he was not willing to back down. And that's the kind of vinegar, the kind of gumption. Yeah. Throw out the word gumption that makes a guy like Matt Guyman always dangerous. Gaskins, back-to-back victories, the decision, and then the first round knockout of Caracappa in his last outing in October. I think that's catapulted him. It's put him in this opportunity, and it's given him a spotlight to, if you can shine, maybe you're worthy of that top 5 spotlight. Maybe you're worthy of that top 5 calling. Interesting one there. Not to mention, I can't be more emphatic about how pivotal this co-main event is, really even more for the title picture. Justin Ibarola has vacated the bantamweight title, and we have bantamweight bouts in the and main event. That is a huge opportunity for someone to make a statement to the man why they should be involved in that next world title fight. I mean, it's an opportunity you have to take advantage of, getting that spotlight. And I thought that having got his feet wet, it's probably a really good thing for a Josh Oxendine who likes to use the space, who, if he can handle the pressure and the pace, could have what would be a truly transcendent performance. Ryan Reber, the story is almost BKFC lore that at the first tryouts, Reber was the guy that truly grabbed Dave Feldman's eye. To get a win over that guy, to solidify yourself coming over from BKB in BKFC, the win here, it puts Oxidine right there saying, why should I not fight the Nate Maness, Jamel Herrig winner? Why should I not be next? It's a whole new bantamweight division, and there is a large opportunity for the reshuffling to happen beautifully on Friday night. Crystal Van Wink, unbeaten foe in Catherine Poprocki. We've seen Van Wink face adversity, gain valuable cage time. She does have the experience, but Poprocki has built quality momentum quickly in her career. Again, this one pivotal to the women's strawweight division, a division that there are rumors, could we get the doctor against Brenton Hart? The doctor wants it. We'd love to see the doctor get it. They've been looking to make the fight happen. The division is starting to gain steam and go momentum again. You got a Tony Murphy who's 2-0, 3-0 would be absolutely massive to tell everybody, hey, I'm here and I want to get some work done in this middleweight division. Let's not waste any time. Another division where I think we could use some new blood in there, not to mention Brandon Allen, the experience, a huge favorite on paper. Jones has nothing to lose. Can he flip the expectations as a dark horse coming out of nowhere? Or does Brendan Allen get that rebound back into the division and show that he's ready to make a push towards a title fight that he really deserved at one point and now needs to re-earn and re-solidify himself in a lot of people's eyes? Thank you, Best MMA Show. I appreciate the comment. Truly do. Truly do. Putting it out here for you people. If there's anything you guys want to talk about, let me know. We went over the PFL card earlier. Pedro Carvalho, straight up. If you did not see his war with Sergio Casio, not going to tell you guys to go watch the entire PFL card, but that was an absolute banger. Deserves some rewatch, deserves some respect. Carlos Pacheco, going to be coming in any minute. San Carlos Pacheco, a link to join us, should be joining the conversation so we can get to our feature of the night. El Paso MMA, the whole Southwest fight scene, rebuilding, regrouping, and CFC 6 proving grounds this Saturday night, El Paso County Coliseum. You do have a UFC Apex card this weekend, but you're going to have one every weekend. It's all free. Rewatch on Paramount. So yeah, I'm telling you, if you're in the El Paso area, you're in Las Cruces, I would be getting on over to CFC 6. Proving grounds. Travis Ariano in the main event. When we saw him debut, first round knockout win over Corey Winham in his debut, that put him on the map for me. Since then, 2 more victories, has this fight booked, and then it looks like he even has another one in May. I think I now hear it. Hey, Carlos is ready. So yeah, we're going to get to the matchmaker for this incredible card so that he can help us go through all of it.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Carlos Pacheco, how you doing tonight?
Pretty good, brother. How you doing?
Oh, we're doing great here, talking about everything in the world of combat sports. And I definitely wanted to talk about your promotion. We've had Jimmy Dukes on to talk about having been there live in post a couple times. So it's about time we get somebody on to help us preview the card.
Yeah, man. It's a great event, honestly. I think for our 6th show, we've had big names come through, really good fights, and it's only going to get bigger.
What inspired this? I know you're a member of the fight community, a coach, an athlete, but promoting is something different. What inspired the start of CFC?
To be honest, it was just drunk talk. My partner and I, we were at a local show, and I had a fighter on the card. He was like one of the first fights, so whatever, he won. And then we went up to just, watch the rest of the card. Really good card, by the way. And then, towards the end of the night, we're like, hey, why don't we do this? I like this show, but I'm so obsessed with mixed martial arts, where I said, like, I feel like they're doing good, but like, I feel like I can do this too. Like, I can do it a little bit better. And a drunk talk, right? And I just, that's all I thought it was, just drunk talk. And then come like that following week, he came into the gym and he's like, hey, let's start setting everything up. And before we knew it, we had a meeting with, our old venue, and then, with all these media, like marketing stuff. And 3 weeks in, like, we had CFC 1, the date signed, and we started getting fighters, and it just came to be.
So it's just drunk talk, just a random conversation. You're this is going to be nothing.
Yeah, honestly, like I didn't expect it to be this big. in so little time. To be honest, we've done pretty good. But I never expected that. You know, thankfully it's gone the way it has. But I'm obsessed with this, man. I'm a fight fan. So like when any local promotion post like fights up in Albuquerque, here in El Paso, Las Cruces, when they post like local fights, I'm like, oh shit, that's gonna be a good fight because I know all the local fighters. So like even when I'm gonna announce a fight, I get super excited before I even make the post because I know it's a really good fight. I'm obsessed with this.
I saw the setup. I saw the screens and the way the fighters walk out, and you got the ramp, and I hope you guys think that it's like mini Bellator is what you guys almost created.
Yeah. So like that's what our thing is. It's like, yeah, we're copying the UFC. Why not? That's the blueprint. Like we're not trying to do something new. We're just copying the UFC. Like that's the end goal for every single professional fighter, for every single amateur fighter. Like that's your end goal. Like we can do that here locally. Like we won't be, we're not on the UFC level, right? But we can make the production on the UFC level. So that's just what we want. And at the end of the day, like I warmed up in an alley in the middle of the winter where it's just like they give you a tiny space. Like the fighters are the stars. We need to treat them like stars.
I've seen fighters warm up in cellars where the commission was throwing mats on top of broken glass. And I still fondly look back on that memory from 15 years ago. But even at the time, we're like, are we really doing this?
Yeah, so I mean, I've been there. I've warmed up. I've had my fighters there. I've warmed up on a weird ramp where like you're sideways. Like it's bad. But, we just want to give them, even from the back, like the locker room, like we try to do as much as we can for them back there. We have a huge jumbotron for them. We have snacks, we have drinks, we have everything for them because at the end of the day, we want to treat them like what they are. They are stars.
Not to mention just overall, not just you guys, but Kingdom to Empire to Fight World. It seemed like there was kind of a lull coming out of COVID and not a lot of consistency. And now within the last 2 years, the scene has really revived a lot.
Yeah, you know what? And Jimmy says it best. It's like the best time to be a fight fan in the Southwest. You have so many promotions putting on great shows. And we all understand each other. We all talk and we say, hey, when's your next show? All right, so I'm gonna try to do it not too close to yours. It's kind of like a little agreement we have where we're not trying to get step on each other's toes. And we can use these other promotions and they can use us. Like they build a fighter and then they can come fight for us and vice versa. We debut someone and damn, they're good. So now they go fight over there. Like I'm not trying to compete with anyone, we all need each other.
And what has it meant for the local community, you guys, and I believe even Kingdom, to have fights back live locally in El Paso? Because it had been Cruces, it had been you guys coming up to Albuquerque, it had been Austin, it had been a lot of traveling for the El Paso fighters.
Yeah, and that's another thing that my partner asked me. He's like, why don't you ever fight here? He says, because there's no fights here. We always have to travel. Like Albuquerque was like the biggest place we would go to, but it was always traveling outside. We're always a B-side. We're always, I don't want to say we were getting fed to the local fighters, but like, obviously, they're bringing you in to lose. They're trying to build their fighters up. So that was another reason why, we kind of talked about starting it because every gym in El Paso, every single gym, I don't care which one you go to, every academy, every dojo, every whatever, they have a super talented fighter, whether it be an up and coming amateur, whether it be a professional, everyone has like talented fighters. So all we're doing is we're trying to showcase, the amazing talent that El Paso has. El Paso is a fight town. It's always been a fight town, even from before when it was boxing. Like we've always been a fight town. We have so much talent here that we just want to give them a platform to be able to perform and showcase their skills. And essentially, like our goal is to graduate them to the bigger promotions. Like we're not trying to keep anyone. We want to give them the platform and the spotlight. So like these bigger promotions, the Furies, the LFAs, they can see them and then pick them up.
Exactly, about building the guys up, about showing off the talent in the area. And you guys have done a great job of cultivating that. We've seen already with your flyweight champion that the victory led to a signing with Fury FC. So going from you guys to one of the more prominent Fight Pass promotions, what does that mean to see your guys' belt, the work you guys have done, be recognized to elevate fighters to that next level?
Man, it feels great because, like I said, that's all we wanted. Like we just want to showcase these people, like all these amazing fighters, so that these bigger promotions like Fury can sign them. And we're just like a stepping stone to the bigger promotions. You know, that's all we want to do. Like we're not trying to keep anyone. We're not trying to sign it. That's why we don't sign people. We just, you know, come do a few fights here with us, go to a bigger promotion. That's all we want.
With those kind of successes and now going from one venue, now expanding into the Coliseum, what does that kind of moment mean also for you guys?
Man, that's huge for us too. Because the Coliseum, it's like there's huge concerts that happen there. It's like one of the bigger venues here in El Paso. It does seat a little over, I think 6,000 people. Right now we're expecting a bigger crowd than we've ever had. Our last show was 3,100, and we're expecting to surpass that by a few hundred. So it's huge for us, you know, like every event's getting bigger, even with the new venue. Like it's just, you know, we're getting to that next step for us, you know, as a promotion.
Now let's get into the good stuff. The
Yeah.
fight card, absolutely stacked. And recently I've even been seeing a USA versus Mexico narrative to it. Where do you want to start? Where should we start talking about this card?
Anywhere. I mean, and that wasn't even planned. It just kind of started happening that way. And we're like, hey, we're kind of like doing US versus Mexico. Let's just keep rolling with it. And that's how we made the flyers that way. And it wasn't planned. It just kind of happened that way.
The main event, Travis Arellano has grabbed my attention since his debut at LFA. And I was talking about that before you jumped on. Ricardo Chavez is ridiculously experienced. What were you thinking matching this one?
So, well, first off, that fight fell, unfortunately. Yeah, I know, man. I know. So, you know, Travis, he's one of my guys. And you know, it was hard because I play matchmaker as well as, you know, coach and stuff. So it was hard, man. It was hard for me trying to find a fight for him because I did get a lot of no's from very experienced people. So we just had to make the final decision, and like he has a fight for LFA now. So you know we still got to fight. Thankfully, you know he's been working hard, and he's going to showcase his skills no matter where he goes. But unfortunately, that fight fell. We have a new main event. If you want to start there, we have yeah, go ahead.
If Travis wins that fight, I just looked at that. That's Luis Francielli. Dude, that's got to be the winner goes to the Contender Series. Those are two ridiculously good prospects.
That guy, he's 5-1. He's from Brazil. He's like 6'6". He's huge. But there's no way. I know how hard Travis hits. I know how hard Travis is trained, and you know we're ready for him or for whoever it may be.
I didn't even mean to sidetrack us off of that one, but that's a ridiculously good fight.
Yeah, that's a very good fight. So I mean, you know, we lost this big fight for him here at home, but we got maybe even a bigger fight, you know, on a bigger promotion. So I'm happy about that.
All right, so give it to us. What's our new main event? What are we looking for in this headliner?
All right, so headliner, we have a local favorite, Victor Santillan. Super great amateur career. He was our champion, 7-1. He was ranked like number 3 in the nation. Like he has a bright future, and he is fighting Juan Monsivais out of Piedras Negras, Mexico.
All right. And yeah, seeing Juan fought Ricky, who we all know how super talented Ricky Maynez is, and has all of his wins by first round knockout. So that's exciting.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. And you know, being Victor's coach for so long, like I know how good he is. And he's a star in the making.
Right. We saw a really decorated career. What was it that you felt where he turned the corner as an amateur and put things together?
His first loss. You know, it was up in Arizona, and I think just something changed in him because when you lose, you that feeling sucks. Like that feel like his nose was broken, like he was just he was really bad in the back. And I think just that feeling, you know, that feeling changed something in his career, in his mindset, and he went on a tear and just, you know, went undefeated for I don't know how many years.
So already from the main event, we're kicking off the Mexico versus USA aspect.
Yes, and it's going to be a very, very good fight. And so, you know, Victor's just you know, he's huge here locally.
Who do you think is next to mention? Who has to come off of your tongue next? Do you feel we got to speak about?
Co-main event, Albuquerque's fucking bad boy, Ian Varela.
Yeah. The mouth that we cannot take live anymore.
Yes, Ian. Yeah, I really like the board guys, man. They're always willing to fight all the time. They've been on every single one of our shows. Ian's just a fighter. He says yes, like I want to fight him. Yeah. But then I have to talk to Ray, right? Ian will fight every day if he could. But they're stepping up on short notice too because the original opponent, John Calderon, got hurt, and Ian took it with no hesitation. So I had to talk to Ray and to the manager, and they were in. It's a very good fight for him.
And that's taking on Brandon?
Yeah, Brandon Uruchurtu out of Mexico. But Brandon has a lot of experience, man. He's been pro forever. You know how Mexico goes. They don't have all their fights up on Tapology. That guy's super experienced.
Yeah, I fail to really believe that from 2016 to now that he only has the 10 fights it's listed. So that one's kind of dangerous.
Yeah, it's dangerous both ways because everyone knows Ian's a finisher. He has also, I think, 100% finish rate. So it's dangerous on both sides because Brandon hits hard, has good grappling. He's very experienced. And then you have Ian, who's a psycho, but he has 100% finish rate. Like, he comes to fight. He's not looking for a decision.
And everybody already knows we're saying psycho in the most lovable way possible. He's going to give it all in round one.
Yeah, of course, man. Ian's a fighter, man. He's just going to come forward, and he knows one direction. That's just going forward.
Who's there in the feature fight position?
We have Alejandro Candyman Diaz, who had, he's been fighting forever. His amateur career goes back to, I don't even know how long it goes back. And he is fighting Emmanuel Berumen out of Mexico.
All right. So from what I'm seeing, Diaz, submission finish, so a little bit more of a ground guy, do you feel, or is he a striker? And all the submissions I'm seeing are kind of...
He is well-rounded. And something about him is his record doesn't really... the people he fought are amazing. He fought Jerome Rivera, in his debut. That guy went to the UFC.
He's been to the top levels.
Yeah, so I mean, he fought Hondo Gutierrez. That's another guy who's up in CFC now, amazing. And then he fought Ian. So, and then he fought Ozzy. He's fought really good people, So, we're turning his career around.
When we look towards, that's a lot of the pro stuff. On the amateur side of the card, who stands out to you?
So this is an all-pro card.
Oh, all pro. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. There was changes with the rules in Texas, I believe, right?
No, we were going with it. We just said, hey, fuck it. Let's just do an all-pro card.
All pro. So how does that feel from you guys? We're a pro-am show, and this is, not even the LFAs, the CFFCs, the Furies, they're not even doing full pro cards usually.
No, it's cool that we get to say it's an all-pro card, but at the same time, it's damn, our wallets are hurting because we got to pay everyone now.
Okay, well, I meant to go to the amateurs so I could see who's flying under the radar. I guess what fight is flying then under the radar when it's a full pro card?
There's two fights that everyone's super excited about. I will give you the first one. Adrian Yanni Munoz, knockout artist. He is fighting Eli Perez out of Juarez, who's another guy who's just going to stand in front of you, caution to the wind. He doesn't care what you hit him with. He's just going to come forward. That is going to be I'm giving it fight of the night right now.
All right. And so Perez fought Javi, right?
He fought Jacobo in I believe our first main event. And then he fought Javi. I don't know if it was the last one or the one before that.
The one before that.
Yeah. So he fought both of them. And Javi was supposed to be on here, but he hurt his hand at Fury.
Okay. And then Adrian, little less experience, has been a Fury though. What could we say about him?
Adrian Munoz.
Yeah.
Oh man, that guy. I don't know if you're looking at the right one. Adrian Munoz. He's 3-3 as an amateur. 3 finishes, 3 knockouts, and they're nasty knockouts. They're not like TKOs. They stay on the ground for a while. That guy has power.
All right. I don't think it was pulling up the right one. This one was showing just 1-1.
Yeah, no, this guy, he's fought for us for the past, I want to say 3-4 shows, even since the first show. He fought Santi, like, and Santi, everyone knows, hits hard, and that was a back and forth fight because he dropped Santi, and then Santi ended up dropping him. He's just a fan friendly fighter like that. If you're taking someone for the first time, that's the fight you want to tell them, like, hey, pay attention to this one.
All right, that's gonna be that knockdown brawl.
Yes, and then we have a female fight. Those are always great. We
Of
have,
course they are. They always steal the show, don't they?
they do. And this girl, Diana Ramirez, she has the most viewed fight on our YouTube, not only for us, but she also has the most viewed fight for Rough. So she just goes to war every time, and she's fighting Whitley Brow, undefeated amateur out of Extreme Couture. So you got two high-level fighters with a lot of experience who are going to make their pro debuts against each other.
And yeah, looking, I see now what you're saying about Adrian coming off of the back-to-back knockout wins after that fight with Santi. So yeah, sounds like he likes to stand and trade.
That's all he does. Like, he's not going to shoot on you. Neither is Ellie. Those guys are not going to shoot. They are going to stand in the middle, and someone's chin is going to, I don't know, someone's chin's going to outlast the other one.
And as Carlos said, he expects the ladies to steal the show.
Yes.
Matchmaking, running a promotion, coaching at the gym. I've heard time to time you go out there and compete also.
Yeah, I fought on the.
Are you too
on the
busy?
third one. I'm sorry?
I said, are you too busy at this point?
Nah, I wanted to jump on this one too, but I love this, man. I love matchmaking. I love fighting. I love coaching. I love mixed martial arts. That's my life.
And it sounded like you were about to get into it. When are you resuming your fight career?
I don't know. I'm old now. Well, according to me, right? Like, I'm old. I'm 35. Like, maybe just one more. One more this year, though. This year for sure. This year I was supposed to fight. I believe it was last August, I think. I was gonna fight Ray Viza at Fight World, but unfortunately, my nose. I have a collapsed septum, and it's just, I can't. My nose doesn't work. So yeah, I had to get surgery on that. But no, I have. Man, I say one more every time, and then I've had like 3 since. We all say that, but we'll see. But for sure, I'll be on this year.
That's why I had to ask. So it's a goal still to step in your own cage to fight in CFC?
Yeah, win, lose, I don't care. I just love this, man.
When did that love cultivate? Where did this come from?
Since I started training, I walked into a gym one day just because someone begged me to go try a class with them. I didn't work out before, right out of high school and college. It was just partying. And he was like, hey, come try a class with me. And I was, dude, I'm not going to work out. Get out of here. And then, like, after so much, like, come on, just come with me. I ended up walking into a gym. I fell in love with it. And that's it. It's been my life since, 16 years ago.
If it's possible that someone from Las Cruces to El Paso hasn't heard of CFC, what should they know about what you guys have put together in this promotion?
The difference between us, it's not just fights. Anyone can throw fights, anyone. But it's an event. We have interactive things between, the intermission. This time we're having a fan fest outside. So there's going to be a concert outside. There's going to be like a mechanical bull. We're going to take an extra cage for people to like maybe do some grappling, to do photo ops, to do whatever, mechanical bull. Like, there's a bunch of stuff. There's a sushi eating contest. There's a full-blown concert at the end of the show that's going to be like 4 hours long. So we have something for everyone. It's not just a fight.
It's a whole event. So proving grounds.
Proving grounds, yes.
Cage fighting championships. You guys are doing something unique then. What's the concert? Is this a surprise, or who's playing afterwards?
It's just bandas. It's very big here with the Hispanic community. We have 3 different bandas, and everyone who attends the show can stay after and just hang out, enjoy, keep partying. Yeah, man, we just want to have something for everyone. And another big thing, at the end of CFC 6, we will announce the headliner for CFC 7. So if you go, do not leave. They will be facing off in the cage.
Oh, we got a special announcement coming. We got a special announcement.
Yes, everything is ready. Contracts are signed. The date will be released. And we're going to announce the main event at the end of CFC 6.
You guys are putting this show together, following up a month later, about 5 weeks later after you. There's the home rematch in El Paso. What does it feel like in El Paso right now with all these combat sports, with the temperature going in this direction again?
It's great, man. It's, for a mixed martial artist, whether you're, or boxer, there's so many boxing shows, there's so many MMA shows. Like, now's the time to get into it. Now's the time to start fighting. Now's the time to be a fan in the Southwest, because maybe you don't like mixed MMA. You like boxing. There's going to be a huge MVP card coming to El Paso. Who would think that MVP would come to El Paso? Even that's big in its own. Like, and then we have so many MMA promotions that are putting on great shows. So it's the best time to be a fan in the Southwest.
Carlos, thanks for joining me tonight.
Sarah, thank you so much.
Everybody, El Paso, Las Cruces, you got to get out and support. It sounded like there's still available space. They're working towards a sellout, but you could help them get there, and you could even stay for a concert afterwards. Combat Fighting Championships, CFC. They're producing talent. They're giving the young talent in the Southwest another great platform to excel and get to that next level on UFC Fight Pass, to try to get to the UFC, to try to get to the PFL, to try to chase their dreams. And you guys can get out and support the promotion this weekend, what sounds like another stat card, a wonderful night in full entertainment. Appreciate Carlos for coming in. And I know we're going to see him fight again. You heard that. Oh, one more. It's going to be one more. You could already tell he's going to do it, guys. Got to thank everybody that's helped me tonight. Staying hydrated. Thanks for our friends from Hydrobar here locally, Albuquerque, New Mexico. The alkaline water helps with the refueling, the deacidifying of muscles. You know, that lactic acid buildup. So check them out here locally. Hydrobar, Robbie Ray Images, great photos you see across the Cage Minds social media, and also helping us with the videos that you see up of the Cage Minds Fight Hour from ESPN Radio Albuquerque 1017 The Team. Still, last weekend was a great episode, catching up with Freddie Sandoval about Sandoval Fight Systems, talking with Ian Heinrich about everything happening with Bare Knuckle Ice Wars. And yeah, Pat Holmes was on last week ahead of the redemption. Shout out to all the pugilists who did real big up at the OK Casino. We know that Wedo Villarreal still continuing his unbeaten record. Same goes for Eduardo Pino. Shout out to both of those young men on the cusp of big things. May 9th, Angelo Leo, boxing world title defense, the 2-division world champion, the Surefire Hall of Famer, was in attendance. Visit cageminds.com for the latest in combat sports news. There's big news coming from BKFC. Couple new announcements for them. The Darren Till news. His debut has been made official, coming against Aaron Chalmers. It's cageminds.com for the website. Cage Minds Combat Sports News, Facebook and YouTube. CageMinds_CSN, X, TikTok, Threads, Instagram. There's a lot going on in the combat sports world. We'll be covering it all this weekend. The UFC Vegas 116 card, and definitely have a bunch of coverage from the BKFC Fight Night Clearwater on Friday. See if we can get some coverage from Jimmy Dukes. He'll be by next week, I believe, to recap everything from CFC 6. We'll be staying on top of that event as well. CageMinds.com. It's where combat sports news lives. If you love pro wrestling, tomorrow, Pro Wrestling After Hours, me and Michael Carlisle, our full WrestleMania 42 review. If you love the art of pro wrestling, you should definitely get out and support it locally. Next weekend, May 2nd, El Rey Theater, Duke City Championship Wrestling Birthday Bash number 3. Several stars from the NWA will be here to battle the best and brightest that are our local wrestlers. Hobo Hank, Thunder, Lonzo the Lowrider Romero. You guys are going to need to get out and support before these guys make it to that next big level. Cage Minds is where combat sports lives. Thank you for watching. You guys have a good night.